Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. And just a quick update from the last video. What I decided to do as I was actually watching that last video is after I renamed this transfers app to pretty much rename everything to wires, I decided instead of moving it to the Exchange app, I'm just gonna move it under wallets. And that is because these wires, as I guess we'll start calling them, they really have nothing to do with the exchange. I mean, of course, everything's all tied together, but for example, if we didn't have this trade feature at all, then these wires would still be part of this wallet logic. So it didn't really make sense when I was really thinking about things to move under the exchange, since I don't know, they're just completely independent of one another in a way. So anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I also updated my ticket to move wires into the wallets app. So in the new exchange app that we're going to be creating in the future, we're just going to have orders and some other models under here, like asset pair, trade, so on and so forth. And then under the wallets, we're going to have wires, which is the current transfers, and then transfers we're going to be creating in the future. That's going to be like that internal transfer, the one that doesn't hit any core at all. So with that being said, just want to keep you guys updated. Let's go ahead and hop into the front end, and we'll start on this ticket 66 Mario Lemieux shop prep UI. Okay, actually let me close all these. Always like to keep things nice and clean. So actually, let me first just make sure everything's synced up. Shop UI prep. For my branch naming, I always like to have the number and then a little description hyphenated. So 66 shop UI prep. I'm going to create that. And actually, before I go any further, so like I said, what I'm going to be doing in this video is taking the trade and the orders elements and merging them under in an exchange section. And instead of having these two tabs right here, I'm pretty much going to move them to a top toolbar. And actually, let me see if I can steal any logic anywhere. Okay. So before I even get to that, I want to pop back to TNBOS because I want to see how I structured a toolbar earlier, because I want to have this toolbar sticky on top and have this main section be scrollable. So let me see. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be using CSS Grid, but I think that I did it maybe in my shop app. Yeah, okay. So this is what I'm talking about. You see this top dark toolbar is sticky, and then the content under here, which is going to be the trade content or the orders content, is scrollable. I just wanted to see how I did that real quick. So, ooh, flex, that's interesting. So a flex direction column, and then this one has an overflow. Okay. So I use flex instead of grid. I guess that makes sense. Okay. So let's, with 100, height 100, head, okay, cool. So now let me close out of TNBOS and I'll keep it open. So now let me go ahead and start this. And I can probably close out of this one so I don't get confused. So now I'm on my local development. And am I logged in? Just log out and log in again. Okay, so I'm under local development, and then what I'll do first is actually just go ahead and make this empty exchange page. All right. So under pages is where I have this, and then I'm gonna have to go to layouts, authenticated, and then my left nav is where I have these. So first I'll say exchange, make sure I spelled that right. And then I'm gonna create the styles for this, and then the component, which is just name index. Okay, so let me first kind of just get all the rough structuring. So this is pretty much just an empty component right now. However, it's going to be much more. And then where am I? Text to, okay. So I also, so this is gonna, I guess I can do this now. So this is going to go to, I guess it'll be right here, an exchange page. And the route is just going to be exchange. However, I don't have my routing set up yet. Is this thing on? Yep. So I don't have my routing set up yet. And where did I have that? Probably in here, in main area. Okay, so import exchange, and then whenever I hit the exchange route, I want to render my exchange component. Make sure everything's alphabetized, left nav, looking good. All right. So course page, wallets page, exchange page, that's all I have for right now, but that is good. And maybe I can steal some styling from TNBOS as well. So TNBOS, that was in the shop app. And here is my top. So actually, this is my container for it. The container for my shop, and this is going to be my container for my exchange. So my exchange page is going to be displayed flex direction column, have a height of 100 and width of 100. And I actually do need both of those because I want the toolbar to take up the full width. Get rid of this for now. And then let's see what I had, just the top toolbar and then the main area. So for now, I have a div for top. I'll say main area, top and main area. Okay, and then let me just, that is looking good so far. So now let me go ahead and style my top. Now do I want to call this top or top nav? Let me go with top nav. And I'll just, okay. So top nav, this is going to be, of course, the top toolbar. And I will say styles. All right, so top nav. All right, so instead of this top div, just gonna replace it with this top nav. good. Pretty that up. And for the top styles, can just do this. I don't think I want a left and a right or a logo. Yeah, it should be good for now. Maybe make that a little bit lighter since it looks kind of goofy, given that this is dark and this is dark as well. Now, do I want this light? I'll tell you what, we will just have something like this for now, just to get everything structured, and then we will work on making everything look pretty. Okay. So top nav, it's gonna have 2 menu items. One's gonna be trade and then one's gonna be orders. So let's steal the styling from this as well. So top index, you got your top. And then your menu items, you have your buy menu items. And then for top menu item, do we need all this? On click, I don't think we need to get this fancy. Okay. So, do I even need a new component? Let's not. Let's just say menu item. Yeah. All right, so top nav, I'll just say menu item. And I don't need this color because the menu item has a color. Font weight. Okay, let's just get this rendered. So I'm gonna have trade, and then what was the other one? Orders. And of course, this doesn't need to be space between. I'll just have everything on the left. Display flex, that's good. Okay, trade and orders. Now for these menu items, let's, how am I gonna do this? Maybe if I take the left and right padding off of here, and I'll just stick it on my menu items. So for this, I won't have any left and right, so I'll have 8 pixels on the top and bottom. Maybe I won't have any padding at all. Is that crazy? And then for the menu items, I'll say top and bottom 8 pixels. Actually, let me just try 8 pixels, see how that looks. Not bad. But then, okay, so let me do this. So on my main toolbar, I'll have no padding top and bottom, and then the left and right, I'll have 8, and that'll give me this decent behavior. Actually, do I want a little bit more padding on the top and bottom? I think so. So let's do 4 pixels for the toolbar. Actually, I want to move that to all right, 8 pixels all around here. And okay, so I think this is good because then I just let the menu items kind of dictate everything, which is going to be good because that way if I have any hover functionality, it'll look all right. All right, so I got my top toolbar looking good. Now, another thing that I want to do for this main area is I just want to close these for now. I just want to make sure that it's scrollable. So I'm going to go ahead and all right, so for this main area, let me see what I'm working with here. Okay, let me just go ahead and make component now, directory components, make a new styles file, and then make a new main area component. All right, so main area, what are you doing here? I don't think I need to set the background, but it is going to be height 100, overflow hidden, because I want that scroll, but you don't need to show it. And then for this, let me just put a bunch of headings in here just so we have something to scroll. It should be enough. And maybe render it right here, so top nav, main area. So on my exchange, we're gonna have my top navigation, then my main area on bottom. And then if all goes well, this isn't scroll, so overflow. All right, so overflow Y, scroll, and there we go. So I got my sticky header, and I don't know if you can tell, but this bottom section is scrolling, and then when we can do auto, because we just don't want to always display the scroll bar, only when we need it. So if the content fits, no scroll bar. And then if it's too much, then we can go scroll. In the left, in the top, they are still sticky. Beautiful. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start moving this content under here, and orders under here. But first, I have to go pee, so I'll pause the video. All right, and we are back. Now, let's see what we got going on here. Okay. So we got our exchange built, our exchange page, trade orders. Now we need to replace these heys in the main area with something a little bit more useful. Exchange framework, good for now. And now let me go to my layout, authenticated, main area, and kind of change these around. So just like in here, again, this main area is this whole thing, including this top bar. But what I'm gonna do is kind of just borrow some of this logic. So I'm gonna say for these nested routes, okay, let's just clean all this up. Okay. So in the main area of the exchange, we are going to be rendering the orders and trade, right? Trade and orders. And then that means that we are no longer going to be rendering the trade and orders here. And let me just temporarily move these from move those from pages, although I want to kind of reshuffle or reorganize these because they're not going to be pages anymore. But for now, let me just go ahead and, okay, so the routes are removed. And now in my layout authenticated left menu, I'm also going to be removing trade and orders from the main left menu, since those are now Going to be nested under the Exchange page. And just make sure it didn't break anything. Okay, so cores, wallets, Exchange, and then you're going to have trade-in orders right here, which you're going to render right here. And they're not rendering because I need to, how am I going to do this? So I'm just thinking of my URL structure. So we can do something like this. Actually, I wonder if, actually, does that work already? No. Actually, let me do this. So first thing, I want to move these from pages under main area. Yeah. So right now the order section is under pages, and I want to nest this under the main area, the Exchange, and also, so that's going to be here. And also the trade section, same. That's going to be under there. All right, now for this path, shouldn't be broken, but they're still not going to be rendering. So I want to say, whenever I click those menu items, that I want to render these. Okay. So how do I, all right, I'm gonna need to bust out ChatGPT for a second. And also, is this what I want to do? Well, figure out what I want to do before I ask for help on how to do it. So here's my Exchange app. I want to render okay. Here's my Exchange component that rendered at my orders and trade components. Rendered at route Exchange. Say I want to render my orders component at route Exchange / orders, and my trade component at route Exchange .trade. And I already gave my Exchange component, and then let's go top nav, and then my main area as well. Should be enough. Okay. However, the exchange path is not handled yet. Make sure you're routing. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Exchange star. That makes sense. So exchange star is going to render my exchange. Okay, looking nice. Actually, yeah, so it's not just the exchange path, but exchange and anything after it. So I'm actually going to have to change this as well to trade. Okay. Change this, and then buff code means any subroute nested under, which is what I want. This and this is good. And then, okay, so what I need to do now is just update my exchange element right here, my left nav, to be exchange trade. Oops. Okay, so wallets, exchange, this is going to take me to exchange trade. And now I just need to update my menu items. And by I mean hopefully ChatGPT. Update these to be React router to those pages. Actually, was this a link? Menu item. Yeah, menu link. Interesting. Well, that is interesting. I didn't use routes right. Oh, that's interesting too. Huh. I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to use this menu item style. Then left nav. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go customized. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in this note, top nav menu item, I'm gonna go ahead and make a custom component. So menu item component, and then this is gonna have styles. And then let me just structure everything first, and then next. Menu item, and then here, let's see what we got going on. So the menu link, should it be named that actually? Menu item or menu link? Let's actually rename this to menu link. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that way if we have any other menu items like a logo or drop down or anything, then we can structure that. So refactor, rename. Menu item is going to be called menu link. And then what do we got going on? So menu link props is not going to have any icon. It's going to have a text. Then it's going to have a to, which is a route. So menu link is not going to have any icon. It's going to have text and to. And then I'll say text. Oh, hey now. Text to. And then for this, it will be pretty much the same. Use location React Router DOM. Okay, so menu link. Pretty much the same as this. I got to. Actually, here we just have text in here. Style that. Might be able to clean this up in a bit, but we'll get to that in a second. So styles, the text, just copy for now and then don't need any breakpoints. And then for 2, okay, so we have is active. Menu link is a styled reactor DOM link. Menu item style, don't need it, but that is active. May want that eventually, but we can do that later. So this container is actually going to be, yeah, just keep this nice and easy. So this container is just going to be a style link. And I don't need the margin left. And in that case, class name. Let's do this. Style link is going to take is active, and we can just use all the same logic. Okay, so for our menu link for our top nav bar, we're going to be passing in text into. So in this case, we just get menu link. Top nav text equals tray 2 equals, and that is in, I don't know if we have to do it like this, but either way. Okay, so those are funky, but trade orders looking good. And of course, since we updated some styling, let's see, this is the left nav for the authenticated. We don't need this anymore. And all right, so exchange. This is looking alright. The top nav, styling for this menu item is going to be the styling for this. And I don't even think we want this text right here. Instead, we can just render it out like this. And then menu item, we replace that with the components, and let's see what we got going on now. So trade, orders, and I think I want text decoration none. So and that should get rid of my underline. Nope, it doesn't. And why is that? On hover, do I need it? Yep. Okay, so trade, orders. This is interesting as well. So what would be nice is if I could keep this. You see how whenever you hover over any of these left menu elements, then they have this little background. Also, if it's active, then you still get that background. Well, whenever I'm on the trade page, which is, well, the trade and the order section are both in this exchange like parent element, but only the trade one is activated because this route goes to the trade URL by default. And I'm wondering, you know what, I'm just gonna ask my boy ChatGPT. So let's do this. So layout authenticated left nav menu item. And that would be a menu link. Now, how do I say this? Actually, let me see if I can just do. Let me see what I'm working with here. All right, so let's keep it easy. So this is my location object, and 2 is exchange trade. So on orders, why is 2? Oh, because this is menu item. That's interesting. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so I think what I can do is I can just update this active logic because my path name is indeed changing, but 2, yeah. Okay, so right now I'm passing in this 2 property and I'm matching it against my, pretty much my URL to determine if this is active or not. However, that's not the exact logic that I want. Instead, what I can do is I'm gonna pass in an additional property and I'll say root path, and I'll match that instead. So my menu link for my left menu right here, this is also going to take a root path, and then I'll say root path equals, and most of the time it's just going to be the same as 2. So I can just copy that. Root path is wallet. And then for this one though, I'll say the root path equals exchange. And that'll pretty much be the new thing that I match it up against. So I'll say is active is equal, if, wait, what's 2? Yeah, so if 2 includes root path. Let me see if that works. Okay, that doesn't work at all. Hold on. All right, so 2 and then root path. Okay, I'm missing a little bit of logic here, which is I still have to match the path name. Wait, I matched it up against the wrong thing. So if path name includes root path. Oops. So if the path name that you're on includes the root path, then it means it's active. So cores, wallets, exchange, trade, orders. Okay, beautiful. When cores, this is active, wallets active, exchange, because this root path, or excuse me, because this entire string includes this, still active. Now another thing that I probably want to do is, you see when I click on trades or orders, I'm getting the right content that's rendering here, but I also probably want to add an active state right here. Since, for example, I don't know, I just think it's nice to have a little indicator to know which page you're on, even though you can, probably tell pretty clearly. But, a visual indicator's never a bad idea. But for now, let me just clean this up. Another question that I wanted to ask you is, you see how, like, I have these paths and I have them pretty much hard-coded in, like in my menu link, and then in my routing logic as well. Do you guys use constants for these, or it always feels weird hard-coding in those paths? But anyways, let me, for the front end, I renamed trade to exchange. And then the URL is different as well. Exchange trade. Create a top toolbar for the new exchange section. Did that. And that's the existing exchange and orders page under the new exchange section. Looking good. And let me just see if I want to clean this up a bit. Did get rid of my logs, right? Yep. Okay, so for this, I think that might be good actually. 24. Or do I want to just make that nice and tight? 16. Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep it a little bit tighter. All right, so under my pages, the exchange, the main area, and then the orders and trade. For the orders container, gonna just use 16 padding, and for the trade container, I also want to just use 16 padding. Now let me lint this up. npm will run lint. Looking good. And all right. Now, should I do anything with the styling right now? I think that's good. Testing everything out. Okay, so I know that I'm gonna want to change the colors of this top toolbar, but for right now, I think it's good. Even though I want to add active state, change the colors, I'm going to go through and probably separately make really work on the style guide, get all my colors set. But for right now, I just kind of want to get all the logic working. And on that note, let me go ahead and push this up, and should be good to merge it in. So before I push it up, let's see. This is how I like to have my PR structured as well. So the number of the issue and then the full title, and that is not what I wanted to open. And all right, so just commit and push this. All right, nice. And then don't need you for now, just a little self code review and should be good to go. So this, and then I'll say closes number 66. course, gonna code review my own code. Okay, so on the left menu, we added this root path, and then we said if the URL includes that path at all, then consider the menu link active, and that was working properly. And then from the left menu, we removed trade in orders and replaced it with exchange. And that links to the trade page, or in other words, this first page by default. Now for the authenticated main area, we are no longer rendering orders in trade because those are now nested under exchange, which we wanted. The order style, we removed a little bit from the top since it's like a subsection now, not a page. Beautiful. The exchange main area is just an overflow whenever we need it. Let's go ahead and retest that one more time. Yep. And I don't even know if we can shrink it this much, but it was working good. Assuming it works good for orders once we have more. And then moving a bunch of stuff. Let me just see. From the trade page, we moved it into the exchange. Same thing, remove some of that top padding since it's now a subsection. And for the exchange main area, we are rendering either the orders element or the trade element, which we wanted. Exchange styles, we just have the top in the main area. Displayed flex is a column, height 100, and then width to have the toolbar take up the full width. And then let's see what else we got. The exchange top nav menu link, a white font weight. Actually, this is one thing I do want to change. Exchange top nav menu link styles. Where are you at? Exchange top link menu link styles. So instead of font weight 600, what I want to do is I want to use my standard style guide. So I'll say styles equals, I'll see if it looks better. It's bold or semi-bold. Semi-bold is looking pretty good. Let's just try bold though, just to see how it looks. Bold, not that great. All right, so stick with semi-bold. Lint this shiznishigin. Padding equals good. Text decoration none. All right, and then for my custom menu link, I'm passing in text and a pass. And for this one, I can say is active, even though, okay. So we're passing in the is active prop and we're not really using it for anything. I'm wondering if I should just get rid of it right now. Yeah, let's do that. Even though I'm going to be using it in the future, it just feels a little bit weird having dead code. And it'll be easy enough to add it in the future. Actually, do I want to just do it now? Like, why not? So say, let's just use this for now. So if this is active, have a little bit of background, there you go. And let's just bring this up a bit. Okay, so again, I'm going to be adjusting all of these styles as well, but for right now I do have some is active logic. I don't know if you could tell, but when it's active, it has like a slight background. So again, not the prettiest thing, but just want to take care of the engineering right now. So that takes care of that. Background, this is going to be a style guide eventually, so that's good for now. The top nav for the exchange, this is pretty simple. It just has display flex, padding, and then you just have two menu links in there. And then, of course, for the entire exchange page, it's pretty simple. You just have a top nav and a main area looking good. So now let me just go ahead and lint one more time, push it up and merge it in. Push, and I'll say adding is active logic. Commit push. And where are you at? Is active logic looking good? Squash, merge. Thank you, spank you, call it a night. All right, delete that. Takes care of this issue. And we're looking pretty good. So now let me just go ahead and pull this down, make sure nothing broke, and then we can consider this task complete. So I can also get rid of this branch. All right, so now from the beginning, I log in, I'm looking at my cores, I'm looking at my wallets, everything is looking good. Go to exchange, trade is the default one. Again, another thing that I want to do is select some of the state by default, but that's for another day. I got trades, I got orders, and now we are prepared to add our shop app right there. Sweet. All right, so I'll make sure everything is good to go, and yeah. Next video, next ticket. I'll see you then.